Here's what actress Diane Keaton had shared publicly about her health before her death at the age of 79. According to a family rep, the Something's Gotta Give star did not publicly disclose any major health issues in her final months, but she had previously been open about her struggle with cancer and bulimia throughout her life. Her signature hats weren't just a fashion statement. The star took sun protection seriously after her skin cancer diagnosis at the age of 21, telling the LA Times in 2015, "It's a family history. I remember my Auntie Martha had skin cancer so bad they removed her nose. My father had basal skin cancer and my brother had it. It's tricky with this skin cancer. That's why you've got to put sunblock on." Still, after battling basal cell carcinoma in her 20s, she was diagnosed with squamous cell cancer decades later, which took 2 surgeries to remove, per the Times. Aside from her cancer battle, Keaton had been open about another health challenge, bulimia. She said she became self-conscious about her body after being asked to lose 10 pounds for a part on Broadway when she was younger, telling Dr. Oz in 2014, "All I did was feed my hunger, so I am an addict." Keaton eventually got into recovery for her eating disorder. She got candid about her struggles in a 2011 book, then again, per the New York Daily News, writing, "I think I'm a sister to all the rest of the women, and I'm sure men as well, who have had some kind of eating disorder, and I'm part of the team."
To worry about you
No, and you
kind
also
of
have to
being
be
on my
brilliant.
heels?
No, I'm not. I'm not even. I'm not. I can't do it.
Of
You
course
have to
not, because the only thing she's really ever wanted to do is sing.
I wanted to sing. I thought I was going to be a singer, and I did everything I could to be a singer.
This is the dawning of the age of...
And sing she did, on Broadway no less, in the musical Hair. She was 22.
You know, singing. And
Do you have a good voice, by the way?
oh yeah, it's great. No, of course not.
Well, it must be
But it was
pretty
good
good
enough.
if you had fantasies
Oh,
of
I had
becoming a
tons of
singer.
fantasies. Oh yeah, tons of fantasies. I did have a little solo, and my song was "Black Boys Are Delicious." Black boys are delicious, chocolate flavored treats. Licorice lips like candy, keep my cocoa handy. Yeah, so that's what I sang. I don't think I'm going to get any jobs singing anytime soon. I'd like to. I still have aspirations.
Really?
Yeah. Do you think I have a chance?
I don't know, but I think being
Can
able
I
to
try
sing-
again?
Yeah,
Give
go
me a
ahead.
shot.
Yeah, knock yourself out, Diane. Go
Why
ahead.
not?
Somebody's watching.
Oh my God. Yeah, somewhere.
At the time, someone was watching. Woody Allen. Allen and Keaton would go on to form one of the great on-screen, off-screen partnerships of the 1970s. But first, Keaton would have to measure up, literally.
I had a huge crush on Woody right from the moment I saw him. I was auditioning for Play It Again, Sam, and he was 5'7". You know, he was a relatively short. He is a relatively short fellow. So they put his head in and they measured us, and I got the part because I wasn't taller than he was. So you know, this is like the way it began, and he was hilarious.
Now, come in me. I'm warning you. He gets it right between the eyes.
He'll do it. He'll do it. I've seen him shoot a nose.
And in Keaton, Woody Allen had found his foil.
Ah, sucker. You don't realize that you've been dealing with one of the greatest minds you've ever seen.
Yeah, and his isn't so bad either.
Yeah.
Take 1973's Sleeper.
I just liked being his stupid sidekick. I loved it. He would say things like, "You can't even do a joke." And he's right. So he was very smart about it. And he would like have me set up the joke for him. That's what I'm good at, being the idiot.
Diane Keaton is the master of self-deprecation, but in truth, she's not unlike her character in Something's Gotta Give.
You're a tower of strength.
Oh, she's lived life on her own terms. She's always worked, never married, and didn't start a family until she turned 50.
You know, I'm a late developer.
Keaton says her mother, Dorothy, who died in 2008, encouraged her daughter to just be herself and go for it. It was unexpected guidance from a woman who represented domestic perfection.
My mother was Mrs. Los Angeles.
I know,
don't know
and
if you-
Mrs. Highland Park before
Well, yeah,
that,
we can't
right?
forget that. I mean, that's a very moving thing.
Your life is in such stark contrast to your mom's, who was sort of a domestic goddess, if you will.
She was the kind of mother who was the great enabler. And she was always supporting me, every single thing that I ever did. I mean, we were partners.
If Keaton's mom thought her eldest daughter ought to be in pictures, not everyone agreed.
I would always fail because they would always say to me, "You're too kooky." And so you don't get the part because you're too kooky.
Where
and
did
then
they get
to
that
be
idea?
because I was a little off center. Oh, you're making fun. That's really not nice.
Just kidding.
Anyway, of course, just kidding.
Then in 1972, The Godfather happened.
Michael, that man over there is talking to himself.
I felt I was miscast.
This one time, I'll let you ask me about my affairs.
Well, when you watched that movie or when you watched it initially, did you still feel that way?
There's the only thing I thought about when I saw Me, not the movie. The movie is absolutely brilliant. Was the wig is horrible.
What was it like working with Al Pacino? Because you guys were involved in a
Obviously,
relationship.
Hello. No, not then.
Not then?
No. But I would have liked it. I'll be frank. I mean, he was beautiful and so talented. And oh my God. Yeah, I had a big crush.
Things didn't heat up for them romantically until after The Godfather Part 2, but they proved to be two very different people.
Al
was more of a real actor, kind of really about acting, always. Al was the kind of guy that if you're around him, he'd read Shakespeare. Get it? Like he's doing The Merchant of Venice. I mean, hello? I couldn't stand doing anything like that ever.
Really?
Are you kidding? Night after night, doing a play? I'd rather, it's like my idea of hell.
Keaton appreciates the many chances movie making gives her. And Warren Beatty, another longtime love, taught her you can never do too many takes when they starred in the movie Reds nearly 30 years ago.
I don't know if you ever saw that train station scene, but we must have done that 64 times. And I only got it on the last take. So my feeling about a lot of takes is count me in, because maybe you're going to save me, you know?
What is your relationship like with these people now, Diana? You know, do they stay in your life? Do you have friendships with these guys?
Some. Woody is a friend. He's a friend. I saw him last night here in New York. I don't really see Al. I don't see Warren, but I have great memories of them, and it's fun to see Warren as a father and Al as well. Both people that you never thought of as parents are now parents,
And you, of course, are a mom now too. You have 2 kids, Dexter and Duke, right?
Right.
You adopted your first child when you were 50. What motivated you to do that at that point in your life?
Well, it had a lot to do with my father's passing, because I think, quite frankly, that I liked being a daughter. I really enjoy being a daughter. I don't think I wanted to be somebody who could take those, parenthood on until I had to accept that I had to move on.
Why do you think you never got married?
I think that the reason I didn't get married was because I would have to compromise too much. I think I took my cue from my mother there. I didn't want to have that. I wanted to try more adventurous things for myself. And I think that I didn't know how. And I was also afraid of men.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was afraid of men, yes. I was always being turned down or overlooked. And, I saw myself as, kind of a victim in that area. Yeah, it was hard for me to kind of compromise. I think I wasn't really marriage material.
Do you regret that?
Yeah, in some ways I do.
Today at 64, Diane Keaton's life is full of work, family, friends, all lovingly draped in her nonstop stream of consciousness and her own inimitable charm.
You still seem to have that insecurity thing and unsure of yourself.
Yeah, it's in there. It's the DNA. But I'm going to fight it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try as many things as I possibly can, except for flying. I don't want to fly. I talk to the pilots. They all look at me like I'm crazy, but I think they're crazy. So how do you like that? I don't want to fly. I want to be adventurous, but I don't want to fly.
Are you okay?
No, I'm obviously not. I think I need to sleep. Somebody's got to put me down. Put her down.
I know.
Good evening. This is Evening Sky. I'm your host, Sky, aka Skylar Saunders. Tonight we are bestowing our best upon the sad news, of this goddess who has passed on to the unknown and the unknowable. I'm talking about Diane Keaton, dead at 79. So you can get your loud packs ready. Sir Rick James, make sure you get your loud packs together. I know you want to smoke them. Oh, what the hell? What is Bumba? I'm talking about this white woman now. What are you talking about? It's better be another beautiful white woman. Talking about some Ian Watkins. What the hell's Ian? I never even heard of such. Ian, oh my God. Bumba, what are you doing to me? I just gave you a little package from 15 years ago. The Lost Prophets. This nigga. No. We're not going on about a sex offender, a convicted child sex offender. I think I heard about him before, but we're not going to talk about him at all today. This is the last time I'm talking about him. The Lost Prophets. No, never, not never. You can get your own channel and talk about him as long as you want. I'm smoking on that. Okay, you can smoke on that loud pack all you want, but I'm not talking about him at all. At all. I'm talking about Diane Keaton, this beautiful white goddess who has passed on to the unknown, the unknowable. Well, I know he got. Hey, that's something else. That's another story. Diane Keaton, legend in the game, Oscar award winning, Golden Globe winning, Emmy nominated. I think she was nominated a few times. I don't know if she won. I know she won an Academy Award and a Golden Globe. She had 8 films with Woody Allen. They're among my favorite: Manhattan, Annie Hall, Sleeper, just to name a few. Excellent job she does. She's very witty and like a sprite, and like just a tremendous ball of energy and thoughts. And it's a sad shame because she had bouts with bulimia and skin cancer, and that really had took its toll on her health and her body and her mind. And so it's very sad, but I'm here to celebrate her. I remember, the first lover I ever had. She really reminded me of Diane Keaton. She had, the same kind of facial features. She had the same kind of, spunk and kind of character and liveliness. Even though she was born in, Diane Keaton was born in Los Angeles. She was born in basically Hollywood. Um, it's important to note that she was able to buck the trend of I think she started as very young. She started like in her late teens or early 20s. She started in the show Hair, and she said she had a song black boys are tasty or delicious or something along those lines, and she remembered the lines from it. So that was something special, I think, for her to sing something like that. But throughout her career, she's worked with Al Pacino, Jack Nicholson, Harrison Ford, just to name a few heavy hitter A-lister actors. And she was no slouch herself. Like I said, she won the Academy Award for Annie Hall. She had an amazing career that spanned decades. Not a lot of women get that opportunity to span the decades. A lot of them are cast away to the side. That's the trite, the way of looking at it. That's the cliche that women at past 40 and sometimes even past 30 in Hollywood are not seen as um a ticket for a movie to be made. She went into her 70s, I think, still making movies. So that's really a testament to her own ability to transcend and to deliver. That's a really special kind of way of looking at her life. She was she went to college. After college, she went. I think she moved to New York. I believe. But I'm just celebrating a white woman. Can I do that? I'm just I'm, I'm just celebrating a white woman because she was so great. She was a great figure on stage and screen. She really put it away. She put on a hat. She wasn't just wearing the hats for comfort or a fashion. They were really to protect her head from the sun, and she had put on like sunscreen and sunblock. That was key to her defending herself against the solar rays. So but her health kind of declined rapidly. It was like she was okay and then she wasn't okay. It was a kind of a strange kind of situation. So I think that with the idea of her let me see, it says this they called her one of the great American actresses from the heyday of the 1970s, a style icon and a treasure with a personal and professional style that is difficult to explicate and impossible to duplicate. Wow. The New York Times described Keaton as remarkably skilled, portraying Woody Allen's darling, flustered muse in his comedies, as well as shy, self-conscious women overcome by, oh yeah, another guy, Warren Beatty, I just thought of, power of their own awakened eroticism. And her credits extend from 1970, Lovers and Strangers, to 2024, Summer Camp, her final film role. 2024, 1970 to 2024. That's extraordinary for anyone, for male actors, for anybody. That's an extraordinary run. If you can go from 54 years as your career, that is extraordinary. And that's just film. Television went from 1970, Love American Style, to 2019, 2022, Green Eggs and Ham. Her theater was from on 1968, Hair, as I mentioned, and 1969, Play It Again, Sam. She was in the music video Ghost by Justin Bieber, so she had Bieber connections. Yeah, she had a Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Film Institute. She had a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Hollywood Film Awards, AFI Star Award. I'm sure she had a Walk of Fame. I'm trying to see if she had a Walk of. I'm pretty sure she had a Walk of Fame. Maybe I could be confused. Maybe she didn't get a Walk of Fame. Is she on the Walk of Fame? Let me check this out. Diane Keaton Walk of Fame. Yes, she does have. She does. Oh, excuse me. She does not. She does not. Diane Keaton does not have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but she did have a hand in footprint ceremony at the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood in August 2022. During the ceremony, she placed her handprints and footprints in the cement outside the famous theater. Wow. So many people that don't deserve a Walk of Fame, president, company included. Uh-oh, now he's going for who? Oh my God, I gotta school this young man. Wizard who? Do you believe immigrants are more racist than white people? Okay, we're not gonna talk about immigrants and white people. We're talking about this white goddess that died. But that's what we're talking about, Wizard. I will clue you in. She was a tremendous actress spanning from the 1970s until last year. She was in so many Woody Allen movies you gotta watch. You gotta watch Manhattan, you gotta watch Sleeper, you gotta watch Annie Hall, you gotta watch Radio Days. She has a small part, but she was still in the movie. She was in 8 of Woody Allen's movies. So that's just who you have to look into now that she's gone. You have to at least look on to see how she's immortalized in celluloid. Pick up go on the streamers. Go on, look up Diane Keaton and just be amazed at her beauty, her versatility, her ability to go in between scenes. Her acting was impeccable. I'm just saluting this white goddess. That's all I'm doing tonight. I don't got time for Ian Watkins. He didn't get smoked. He got knifed to death. And what was it? England? Was it somewhere in Europe? I'm not going to talk about him tonight. That's the only talking about him I'm going to be doing. But to answer your question, Wizard, since you have a wrench, and anybody that has a wrench has a question, I actually answer them. Do you believe immigrants are more racist than white people? First of all, white people are immigrants too. You have to realize that. I understand that the influx is more so Hispanics, but white people are immigrants too. So just look at Elon Musk. He's an immigrant. He's from South Africa. He's an immigrant nonetheless. But Diane Keaton, oh my gosh, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for the news because I'm like, damn, she was just. I was just thinking about her, in Annie Hall, how she moves and how she talks and how she, Bum was talking in a an English accent, crazy, bruv, innit? Crazy, bruv, innit? All right, Bumble, I see you. But yeah, Diane Keaton, man, And no relation to Michael Keaton that I know of. I don't think they're related. Let me make sure. Michael Keaton and Diane Keaton. Yeah, they're not related in any way. Yeah, so they're kind of like the the Katharine Hepburn and the Audrey Hepburn. They're not related. They may have the same last name and had the same era, but they were not related in any way familially. Oh no, yeah, not Salute to Son of the Sun 90. I was thinking about Nicole Kidman. No. She is another one that bucks the trend. She has a movie at least every year or every 2 years since. Let me see, it's not as long as Diane Keaton. She's a little bit younger than Diane Keaton. Let me make sure I get Nicole Kidman because that's another white goddess. She's 58. Her first movie was, let me see. Her first year was Bush Christmas in 1983, and her last film was Holland that came out this year. And she's going into another movie called Practical Magic 2. So she's bucking the trend. That's going on. What is that? 42 years. 42 years. And she's been very. Her shows are usually very. Her movies are pretty bankable. They can count on her to perform well. She performs well and they perform well financially. So it's kind of cool. Television, she was this in her first television role was in Chase Through the Night, and her last one are to be announced are Scarpetta and Margot's Got Money Troubles. So this is like taking on that whole idea of, oh well, women can't do anything, and these are white women. They're not like black C-list, B-list or actresses, like Megan Good or somebody. I guess Kerry Washington's pretty A-list. She's pretty A-list. Scandal made her like A-list, and Django Unchained kind of brought her another level of fame and power plays in the industry. But Diane Keaton kind of set the blueprint for a lot of actresses, comedic and dramatic, in their roles. She broke the barriers down. She kicked in doors. She said, "Look, if you boys want to play, I'm playing too." She wanted to make sure that she was part of the table. It's part of the discussion. She wanted to be in the room where it happened, like Hamilton. Excuse me. She wanted to be in the room where it happened. So that's what Diane Keaton was about. Diane Keaton had such a smart and funny and a way of part of it. Southern 79, he says, I'm going to answer every question who has a wrench. He says, was she a part of the Illuminati? I'm going to say no. How did you equate her with the Illuminati? What you think? Oh, because of her success? Is that why? Hove makes mention of that in his songs. He said, I'm a paraphrase, I can't remember, but he's like, just because of somebody's winning, they have to be part of the Illuminati. That's that is followed upon anybody that is within the stream of success. Oh, they're in the Illuminati. They couldn't have stayed around for that long. They couldn't have had that much success. He couldn't have gone platinum 8 years. What was it? It must have been. I think it was 8 years. Yeah, 96 to 2003. If you count the year, it was 8 years in a row of classic projects. You can't do that. You can't be a billionaire. Son 90. I have to disagree with him, but he says God gave us the talent, but the devil make us famous. Well, there is no God and there is no devil, but that is funny. That's your. I respect your position, though. I respect your and I defend your right to say that. But I disagree. I just disapprove of that notion. But that's been around for a lot of it. That's in the movie Sinners. You know, that's Sinners. Sinners deals a lot with that. That the God-given talent for doing the blues and singing and playing the guitar, and then it's kind of like the Robert Johnson. Rock and power to him, by the way. But Robert Johnson, he was alleged to have sold his soul to the devil to be able to play the guitar so well. I don't know if that's the same thing for Diane Keaton. She was just a sexy ass white bitch. That's all I know. She was sexy, even at 79 years old. That's facts. She really had it going, I'm trying to think. I think one of her last movies was with Morgan Freeman. Let me see. I think that I'm trying to remember. I'm looking for it now. Yeah, Nicole Kidman. She had a style like Diane Keaton. She's got the tie with the men's shirt and the blazer. That was all Diane Keaton. She started that. Or she was one of the first ones to start. And maybe back in even the 20s they had women dressed like that. But she popularized it. She made it very known. And I had to mention Nicole Kidman's getting divorced. Like that's. I thought they were going to be together forever. I thought they were going to be there, but that's a totally different note. Let me see. What am I looking up? I don't remember what I'm looking up. Maybe if I go. What are you talking about? Yeah, so she's definitely not part of she was not a part of the Illuminati as far as I know. And all directions point to no, she was not. But that's what happens when people become successful. They say, they can't just be successful. It's got to be something else. They got to be part of the Freemasons. They got to be part of the Illuminati. They got to be part of some cabal that runs the world and only allows a few people to flourish. Now there is some truth to that. There is some truth, of course, to producers and gatekeepers, quote unquote. People say that allow certain people into the industry and allow some people to not be in, some people to be wildly successful and others to flounder. It just depends on whatever it is. But you guys gotta smoke your loud packs. I never smoked marijuana in my life. I never done any hard drugs or anything like that in my entire life. But I support people that do partake. So smoke those loud packs for Diane Keaton, sexy ass white bitch. Smart, witty, funny. Had, good looks. And I'm just taken by her. I'm just taken by her death. Rocking power to her. Rocking power all the way. Rocking power to her whole life, her lifespan, her legacy. And this is the thing we're reminded of. Anybody, we can die any day. You can die any day. That's what T.I. said. You can die any day. But that's the reality. That's the truth. We have to, come to grips with that. I mean, that's the weird thing we live with in America. I mean, we live with, that whole idea of like, I'm not going to die. No, I'm going to die. But look, I'm going to make the best out of all of this until whenever it happens. Whatever happens to me, just know that I lived my life completely. They always say, she lived her life to the fullest. That's such a cliche now, but it's like, it's sad because it's so true. It's like, if it's true, if she actually lived her life to the fullest. That's great. You're supposed to. I like what Jay-Z said one time. He said, I'd rather die enormous than to live dormant. That's a fact. Why would you want to just live a regular life? Why would you just want to live, humdrum every day, run of the mill, just put in your work and go home and watch TV and then wake up, do the same thing over and over again without aspiring for something greater? Diane Keaton aspired for something greater in her life. She didn't even get married. She bucked that trend. She had a family, I think through is it IVF? I might be wrong. Intravenous fertilization. If I'm not right, please correct me. But she had kids when she was in her 50s. So we have to, just extend that. Just extend that whole notion of what she was and what she represented. She represented, the white woman who could, contend with these giants in cinema. Woody Allen, Al Pacino, Warren Beatty, Jack Nicholson. She could hold her own. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't like, oh man, these big guys. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. She was like, no, I got this. That's the kind of daughter I would want. That's the kind of wife I would want. They have that chutzpah. They have that charisma, the riz, as the kids call it these days. To have that, embedded in her character. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. She was able to, make herself into something that, most people would even, consider, because it's such a it's a harsh business. The business ain't easy. It's not easy. Don't get it confused. The business of show is what it really is. It's not show business. It's business of show. And we've seen with the Me Too, she might have been Me Too'd. She didn't really talk about it that much, but I'm sure there's at least one incident in her 54-year career. That's what I want to look up. That's right. In her 54-year career, where she was said, oh no, she said, Five Flights Up. See that movie. Five Flights Up. You got to see that. It's a great movie. Morgan Freeman and Diane Keaton. And how old is Morgan Freeman? We got to have to watch for him. He's 88. God damn. He's been 76 for the past 40 years. He just turned 88. God damn. Shit. This man of color, this gentleman, he acted with her in Five Flights Up. Gotta see. It's a classic movie. It's a small movie. It's very, it's not a blockbuster or anything like that. It was a movie she made, to keep her career alive, I think. And the same thing with Morgan Freeman. He does commercials and stuff like that. I think she did a few commercials too, but I can't remember exactly what they were. But yeah, she's known for her fashion, her style, her grace, her funniness, just being a woman of all, master of all her abilities and her endeavors. I'm giving her flowers right now because she wouldn't be able to smell them anyway, because she's in the unknown and unknowable. That's the thing. We all. I think the thing is, it's a weird thing. It's like, I'm not going to die, but I'm going to heaven kind of thing. We have that kind of disposition about ourselves. It's like, well, I'm not going to die. Of course I'm not going to die, but yeah, I'm going to heaven. And that's why what I think it was Mark Twain said, go to heaven for the weather, go to hell for the company, because hell is going to be packed. I mean, there is no hell and there's no heaven, but the idea of it, in life, there's going to be a lot of people in hell. There's going to be a lot of people in hell. And there's not going to be a hell, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and the idea of, people that deserve to go to hell, there's going to be a lot of those people that will die and be in the unknown and the unknowable. But makes the ticket to life so important. That's what makes it so gratifying, is the fact that it points us in the direction of enjoying life and getting the most out of it, and not just looking at when will it all end, when how long, and I can't wait, and I'm going to put on my robe and tell the story how I made it over, and all these different songs from gospel, which I love, but they have the terrible, horrible messages. So much peace, so much happiness when we get over there. When we get over there, not in life. You can't have peace and happiness in life, but when we get over there, it's unending, eternal, forever and ever. Peace and joy. But you can't have that in life. You can't have that in your living status. I don't get that. That's the thing that is a conundrum to me. It's a weird position to be in. But we go on. We say, hey, I'm not going to die. I can't die, but I'm going to heaven. But it's like the rinse cycle. You know what I mean? It's like you got to go through the rinse cycle. Something's got to happen to you to die before you get clean clothes. You got to die before you go to your fantasy land in heaven, which is completely against specifics. There's no specifics in heaven. How who makes the robes? Who puts on who puts on the crown? I shall wear a crown. Well, who fits you for the crown? Is there a specific person that does that job? How much do they get paid? See, it doesn't make any sense. That's how ridiculous all of it is, and I'm calling it out. It's ridiculous. It makes zero sense. That's why I'm an atheist, because I woke up from the dream. So I'm not, confused as I once was when I was in Christianity, And that's what happened with Diane Keaton. She was a believer all her life. Then later on in life, she became an agnostic, sadly, because that's like the worst thing you can possibly be. I'll take a believer every day. They know. They have a conviction. It's false, but it's conviction nonetheless. It's a steady understanding. Agnostics are the ones that crawl on their belly from side to side, trying to get on whatever, oh, I'm an atheist today. Oh no, I'm a believer today. Oh, it's like, what? You're an atheist because of Star. Yes, that is true. Yeah, if that's a question, that is true. I'm an atheist because of Star, because if it wasn't for his book Objective Hate, I wouldn't have been able to do it. But he really made it an impact for me to read Ayn Rand, and Ayn Rand was the one that like nailed the coffin shut, or on my Christianity. I guess Star kind of supplied the wood and everything like that, but Ayn Rand hammered the last nail in, and that was it for me with my faith. But like I said, I respect anybody with faith. I respect people that don't have faith, but I don't respect anybody that says, well, maybe there is a God, maybe there isn't. I'm not sure. I'm an agnostic. I don't respect people like that. I have zero respect for people like that. Make up your mind one way or the other way. And that's the sad part about Diane Keaton. She died an agnostic, whatever the hell that means. She died an agnostic. She was a believer. She was at least a believer for many of her years. Is Son of the Sun 90? Is he taking over for Texas? Go back to Jesus. That's funny. Go back to Jesus. So I can't go back to Jesus. Can't go back to Jesus. Because where is Jesus? Oh, he's at the right hand of the Father. Okay, so what's he sitting in? Is he sitting in a chair? Who made the chair? Did he have it, custom built? Was it, You start saying that, and they're like, oh, come on, don't do that. Like, don't. But you have to do that. That's what we're doing in life. Everything has to be specific and made correctly. In the Marine Corps, you're. I just learned that, the on your stack or your list of awards and decorations, there have to be at least 1/8 of an inch apart. There's no reason for that beyond the fact that you have to be specific with what you do beyond that. Like when you're firing a mortar, it can't be 1/7 or 1/9 away from it. It has to be exactly 1/8, or you're going to end up bombing somebody, some foreign land, or the wrong location. So it's only to train you to be specific and have exactness. Exactness, is that a word? I don't know. Exactitude, I don't know. But you have to be specific. Some lady said shalom the other day, and I asked her, was she Jewish? She talking about what makes you think I'm Jewish. I don't say shalom, but it's the same thing as saying peace. That's all it means. But that's interesting, Sun 90. That's interesting. But yeah, so Diane Keaton dead at 79. Get your loud packs, smoke them. Shabbat Shalom. A salute to Doc Focus. Let me get your banner up here, sir. I see you. Visit Doc Focus _ on his YouTube channel and subscribe. Like and comment. If you enjoy Call of Duty and other first-person shooters, you will not be disappointed. Tell him that the silly guy Sky sent you. Yeah, I did. I checked on he actually checked on me. He said, I'm just letting you know that I'm getting better. Hit that smash that like button. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, Mr. Terrain said to me in a message, he said that I'm getting better. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange period right now, because I think this is a time. It's a weird, autumn is a strange time. I don't know what season has the most deaths, but I would imagine it's autumn or winter. It's either autumn or winter. I don't think most people die in the summer. Most people probably don't die in the spring, but I would imagine autumn. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up. What season has the most deaths worldwide? Look that up. Winter. Yep, winter. I thought it was going to be winter or autumn. Yeah, winter. Okay. God, Doubtful is just, you make sure you check him out, subscribe. Tell me if your subscriptions have gone up. I want to make sure I make an impact. I want to make sure I get enough word out. And they like and comment. Tell me, yeah, that goofy nigga Sky sent me, yo. That's all I need to hear. Tell Star I said get better, big nigga. Yeah, well, yeah. I don't run messages, but I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind, that focus. But he'll appreciate it. Once he gets back on the air, you'll be able to have as much time to do it once he gets back to full strength. So Diane Keaton dead at 79. And I'm gonna wait for the specials and all the condolences, and everybody's gonna have something to say in the news cycle, and it's gonna be interesting. Let me see.
Diane Keaton spent her final months out of the public eye. The Annie Hall actress has died in California, a family spokesperson confirmed to People October 11th. She was 79. Keaton hadn't been publicly seen in nearly a year before her passing. In fact, her last public appearances were holiday shopping last Christmas and stepping out for errands in August 2024. At the time, Keaton was dressed in her signature bowl hat and glasses, completing her casual look with boxy gray trousers, a black turtleneck, and a dark blazer. She appeared to be in good spirits, smiling and waving at onlookers while shopping in Los Angeles. But even that was a rare sighting for the Oscar winner. Prior to her day out in LA, Keaton was seen the year before at the 2023 US Open Tennis Championships, cheering in the stands during the final game in New York City alongside actress Ariana DeBose. But that's not to say that she left Hollywood behind. At the time of her passing, Keaton had 3 projects in the works: Artist in Residence with Josh Hutcherson, The Making of with Blake Lively, and Constance, directed by Mark Pellington.
Okay, so that was just to show off her style and her grace. She was a very classy lady. From her public image, I don't know specific. I don't know her personally, but just her public image was just of class and bucking the trend. That's the word that comes to mind every time I think of her. She's bucking the trend. People. She should have dressed more feminine. She didn't dress like a man. She didn't. She just like, no, I'm gonna dress how I want to dress. I'm gonna keep my hair short. I'm not gonna keep it long. I'm gonna wear glasses. I'm gonna wear a hat. I'm gonna wear a tie and a blazer or whatever the case may be. That was extraordinary for those times, and that's what I think is very compelling. When it comes to Diane Keaton's appearance and her genuine sense of style, as well as her acting chops. That was the key to all of what she could do. She had in her mind that I'm gonna make this a career, like a real full-blooded, fully thought out career. 54 years, if you can believe that. I mean, just imagine that. 54 years. I mean, people don't even get people get 20-year retirements, 30, 40-year retirements. She almost got 60 years in. She just died right before 79, right before 80. Let me see what her birthday was. Birthday. She would have been 80 on January 5th. Wow. She had nominations for 2 Emmys and a Tony Award. She was honored with the Film Society of Lincoln Center Gala Tribute in 2007 and an AFI Life Achievement Award in 2017. Okay, I think I said that. But she was in some of the best movies of all time. She was in The Godfather and Godfather Part 2. She even appeared in Part 3, even though everybody dumped on that. But it still hits harder than a lot of people's films. Part 3. It's got that famous line. I'm just paraphrasing because I don't know if this is the correct one, but he says, "Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in," or something like that. I want to make sure I get that right. I probably got that wrong. Make fun of me. Oh, Scott, you don't know what you're talking about. You said the wrong line, whatever, But Diane Keaton was in Annie Hall and the Godfather series. Just huge, monumental films, like multiple. Part 3 was that's what I'm saying. Son 90. I'm like, Part 3 was pretty. It's not as great as parts 1 and 2, but like I said, it could hold its water, or hold its water. Pause. Hold its weight against multiple, mafioso films. It can hold its own weight against them. I thought Part 3 was pretty good too. I'm in the minority. We're in the minority, son. We're in the minority because a lot of people are like, Part 3, And a lot of people say that only because Part 1 and Part 2, they got the Oscars. Part 1 and Part 2 got, I think, best pictures. Radio Hawkins, long time guys. Salute to Radio Hawkins. Salute to you, sir. Send me an email. Look, send me an email with your information so I can get a banner made for you. Comes at a price, $10. But, you know, I'll make sure I support Radio Hawkins. And if you want to support me now, it's pinned on the YouTube page is my Cash App. Cash App $5 and up if you feel so obliged to abide. I appreciate it, sir. Salute to you. Long time, though. Yeah, Radio Hawkins, salute to you. Salute. Send me an email, and I'll get a banner made for you. I didn't think the ending of Part 3, and I didn't like the ending of Part 3, and I also didn't like how they made him look weak. Yeah. He was looking old and grizzled and something. Pacino, yeah. They're thinking about making another one. They want Part 4. I'm not even kidding. Godfather Part 4 is in the works that I know of, unless that was AI. But I think that was true. Godfather Part 4. Look it up. I'm looking it up right now. Father. Okay. There is no official Godfather 4. But Leonardo DiCaprio is supposed to play the role. He was rumored to have been cast as a young Sonny Corleone. Yeah, it says how Michael got ruined. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. They ruined him. Doc Focus. He's going against what we're saying now. Doc Focus is saying I didn't like Godfather 3. You're in the majority. 1 and 2 were effing masterpieces. Yeah, they were. It's true. See, that's the thing though. I liked Godfather 3, but it's not on the same level as the first and second one. Not even close. Not close. But it was still very good. And like I said, it can still hold its weight against other mafioso gangster movies of that time, before that time, or even after that time. So I agree with you about the 1 and 2, but Godfather 3, you know, was a lot better than people make it out to be. Yeah. So Diane Keaton dead at 79. Oh my gosh. I didn't expect to read that sentence, you know. She's young. She's young. 79 is young. We're in a different era. You're supposed to be, you know, if this was like 1968 and she died at 79, they'd be like, oh my gosh, she was up there. But now people living into their 80s and 90s, hundreds, it's like 79? That's all she got to? Damn. And she had the health conditions. That's the sad part, you know, stuff that takes you away beforehand. Cancers and viruses and bacteria and stuff like that. Take you out of here. It'll take you out of here. So I just have to say that, you know, Diane Keaton has been not an inspiration for my life, but, you know, just a great woman who happens to be white and was extremely beautiful, very gorgeous. It had a sparkling personality, and someone who I would have loved to have met. Too bad we can't now. I'm not going to meet her in the afterlife. There is no afterlife. There's just life. Just imagine meeting this. Oh yeah, when we die, we're gonna get to see her again. You know, okay. Not real, false, but you know, you keep thinking that, and as long as you believe her, that's your thing. Hey, I'd like to thank Son of the Sun 90, Dot Focus, Bumba, Wizard, and of course, Radio Hawkins. I appreciate all of you, and do a loud pack for Diane Keaton. Have a good night. Take care.